Y'all ready to get into it? Any questions and comments, concerns?
Let's do it.
Welcome back to the We the People's podcast, where we are, in fact, the peoples.
I'm Josiah.
I'm Jacob.
I'm Jordan.
I'm Jonah.
All right, let's try that one more again. More energy, more smiles.
Yeah.
Come on, guys.
Welcome back to the We the People's podcast, where we are, in fact, the peoples.
I'm Josiah.
I'm Jacob.
I'm Jordan.
I'm Jonah.
And for episode 0, we're talking about origin stories because it has come to my attention that y'all don't know us, and that's perfectly fine, but I don't trust these individuals. Jordan, could you explain who you are?
Yeah. My name's Jordan. I'm the third born, which makes me the most powerful.
I'm going to clip you off right there, Jordan. That's why we're not going to introduce ourselves personally. I don't trust you. I mean, I love you, but I don't trust you to introduce yourself fairly and accurately.
All right,
so we're going to pick a card.
Let me get
My cards, I mean, we're just going to randomize it. Before that, our product manager, our show manager is going to send all of us a text. Only one of us will have a text that has a random word in it. And if you have that random word, it's going to be your job to incorporate it through some point in the podcast without getting called out. And if you make it to the end of the podcast, you successfully incorporate the word, you get to choose who gets roasted on the next podcast. If you don't incorporate that word successfully, then you're going to get roasted at the end.
That sounds dangerous.
All right, so everyone check your phone, see if you got the text. Our manager will be sending over our stuffs now.
So how do we win this game? It's like Kemp's.
If you get
your word.
Jonah, explain this to Jordan because I know you heard it.
So our manager, who is an amazing person, will be sending out a text to us. Once you get the words, you will know the word. No one else is going to know the word. So at that point, you must then find a way to incorporate said word, like flakes or Nantucket. And if you get caught throwing it in there and it's very obvious that's the word, we roast you. The next podcast, we destroy you, we cripple you socially, economically, everything. But if you slip it in there and we don't know, you get to pick who then we destroy in the next podcast.
Oh,
okay.
Okay.
So if my word's something random like marshmallow or something, I just have to work it into a sentence and I'm good to go.
But if you just go okay, when I was drawing this marshmallow, I'm gonna get him instantly.
Again,
we instantly jump on the person, or we have to wait till next.
No, not instantly, but just kill him. Murder.
All right, so we're all good on the rules. If you got the message, you should have had it by now. You should have known it. Hopefully, you can figure out a way to incorporate it in, and then maybe we let our followers decide what we do. But I like the idea of getting roasted at the start of the next podcast.
Yes,
but yeah, sweet.
Okay, good. Send it off, baby. Let's go.
All right, since Jacob, you sound so upbeat. Jacob, you can go ahead and introduce Jonah. Go ahead.
Don't say
Jonah.
Jonah, man, special kid. I think we all know that he's probably the most talented mentally and physically for sure. He has the most enthusiasm when it comes to anything. And he's a star waiting to burst.
Stars burst when they die.
Just a couple thousand years.
When they collide.
He is just a talented kid. I love him to death. One of my favorites.
I don't like it. I'm sorry. I'm changing the rules.
You're the worst person.
Jordan, give it a try. Give it a try, Jordan.
Oh my god.
Who am I introducing?
Jonah again, because we got Jonah the star and he's burning.
It's hot. It's hot.
It's hot. It's hot.
It's real hot, baby. It's real hot.
Excited what's gonna happen.
A for effort, Jacob. Maybe next year we'll get around to it. We'll practice.
Okay, don't put me on the scene like that.
Let's get into it. Let's get into
On a podcast or on a podcast.
Hey, Jacob, you're gonna introduce Jonah. Okay, let me write some little clip notes. Right, let me have some spark notes ready to go.
Let me show you how to do it, Jake. Let me show you how to do it. Okay, ready? Tell me when to go.
Go for it.
So Jonah is easily the most talented person here. He's a star. He's
No, I'm introducing myself. No, I'm introducing myself. No, I will not be called a star anymore.
Jonah is easily the most talented person of all the brothers, like physically, just mentally, like he's creative, he's funny, he can talk to people, he's social, he's extremely good at everything he puts his mind to. And he's also, I think, easily the funniest brother. He's the one that livens the party everywhere he goes. So he is easily the most fun-loving brother out of all of us, and probably the easiest to approach. So we love him for that.
Yeah, okay, and what's wrong with them, Jake? Let me go back to Jacob.
No,
What's
that-
wrong? You
we haven't
you
done
can't
the
just pump up
roasting
all the way.
part
You
yet.
gotta have one.
We haven't done the roasting. You can't say what's wrong. No one
Did
said
Jonah
the
get the
word.
word?
You know
Did
what?
someone get
I'm
the
sorry.
word?
I misspoke.
Why would you
I
do
misspoke.
that?
I misspoke.
Why would you? You
Just immediately.
attack
So what's
me,
wrong with
bro.
him? How is he broken? Well, he's a star.
Quick-witted. I didn't mean mental. He's not the most like mentally strong. I would say he is the most. I mean, he's not mentally incapable. But I'm saying that he
What do you-
is the most quick-witted.
Stop
He
it.
is
Okay.
quick-witted.
Stop it.
He's
Stop it.
quick-witted. This is Jonah. We want a quick rhyme. It's
Knock
Jonah.
it off.
I didn't mean to use the
Knock
word
it
mental, and now I can't take back the word mental.
Reclaiming
but
my
quick-witted,
time.
I like to replace with
Reclaiming my time.
Okay.
All right, Jonah, you can talk about yourself in case we missed anything we didn't talk
No,
about you
it's
accurately.
fine. I'm a star. You said it. you already said it. That's the whole encompassing thing. I'm a star. Okay.
Oh God.
I'm the star. Okay?
All right.
got me?
Jonah, since you got chosen, you can pick who you
Uh-huh.
want to talk about next.
I want to introduce Josiah. That one.
Get him.
So, ladies and gentlemen, Josiah is the firstborn brother, which means he has to have a role of natural leadership. You know, he was the third parent by default, but I will say he was an amazing third parent. He helped the brothers through so many tough times growing up, but he also was someone that we look to at all times, even as in our adult lives. Josiah has been a leader.
Raise your hand if
He's
you
been
live
a-
with Josiah for a little bit in your life. Got on your feet. This guy. Go ahead.
he's a great big brother. He is probably one of the hardest workers I know. His moral compass has never deviated from true north, except one time, which we can't discuss in the podcast. But we still love him regardless.
We'll talk about that.
We still relevant. He's an amazing brother. He's an amazing father. Josiah was one of the most monstrous soccer players that ever touched the grass. He would break your shins lovingly, but he'd do it. That's what I gotta say about my eldest brother.
Oh, you remember that?
Yeah, he'd do it.
Very well done, Jenna. I forgot.
I remember the
that we
cramps you got in the car. This
Yeah,
boy's doing
you remember-
gymnastics in the
you
back
remember
seat for the
screaming?
uneven bar.
You remember that? You remember
Yeah.
that?
Sai, how was that? Did he accurately encompass everything that Josiah Peoples is in life? Did he get that
I
right?
mean, of course. All a man has is his fake reputation, so I appreciate it, John. Thank you.
What
Fake
the
reputation.
Wow, that was
heck?
Wow,
Again,
all right,
what?
Sai.
What did I
Ooh.
do? Like I just gave you so much good.
I'm saying that was over the top. I feel like you said so many good things. I was like, have I actually kept that? I don't
Do
know.
you
I feel
think
like
you
I
suck?
feel like I don't know. I feel like as an older brother, I feel like I could have been a better brother to you guys. I feel like I
Jeez,
know
man,
things.
you're
I feel like I know
Josiah,
things now
Josiah,
that I
we
didn't
all have
know.
been better brothers, but you have been the best, and you have been your best oldest brother. Now I don't want to talk about it anymore. I'm in charge now. Maya, I
You
give it
are.
to you.
Thank you.
Okay.
I just want you just thank you. That was good.
Okay. I forgot to
That really was
mention
good.
all of our professions. I know there's like a lot of people from my channel, like my original channel, that are like
Unemployed.
You're a burning star, my guy.
I'm that one star that's really far outside the solar system, just by myself, just twinkling away, doing my own thing.
I just looked up that star actually.
Lonius Negronius. That's the name of my star. Way out there.
Hey, the only place to go from that is up because you still have a job. Jordan, what do you do? Jonah set the bar right here, baby.
Stage, man. He
Thank
set the stage.
you. Set the bar right here. We'll end up with the top dogs, but let's go. Let's go.
We
Who's next?
start from there. I was gonna say a lot of people
You're
are
loud.
curious what we're doing as brothers. I didn't really see anybody like black in tech before Josiah. I'm not sure how many people that are black in tech do you work with?
In my office?
Yeah.
0.
And that's what we're seeing a lot. So I
You
didn't
work
realize
at home. You work from home.
You haven't been.
Your office is your house.
I know it's a sore point, but if you would just apply for a product manager job, you too could work from home.
What was I saying? Jeez Louise. Help me out here, guys. I'm trying to
You were talking about how Josiah was the first black person you saw in tech.
So I
And
didn't
told-
realize when I started my channel that there's not a lot of black people in tech. I think Josiah was the first person in tech that was black that I knew. And I was like, oh, if he can do it, I might do it. So I know there's a lot of people in my audience, at least from the main channel, that are curious, like, what are we doing? So I want to add like some type of professions. We established that Jonah is between jobs at the moment, but who else did we talk about already? Josiah is what's your title? Software developer, data. Go for it.
My official title is data engineer. My actual job is front end engineer / some product management.
I'm tired, but okay, that's cool. Cool, neat. So I'm gonna sprinkle that in there too when we do the introductions. I think next up is Jacob. I'll do Jacob. Now Jacob is a star. There's no other way to say it, guys. You can't really get around that. No, but honestly, Jacob is a just like a firecracker of an individual. I believe he is the most unhinged people's brother in the best way possible. If there is
can you say that?
I don't think you can say that. Unhinged
in the best way. I think he knows it.
Sorry to like interrupt. No, unhinged, man, means like a door. If a door is unhinged, it doesn't work.
It doesn't work.
It's got one job. Here's the door. Doors like this. Doors like this. You said Jacob was like this.
If there was never an unhinged door, there would never be sliding doors. There would never be doors that go like this. So I'm saying Jacob pushes the envelope in the good way. Y'all have taken it at him.
He's a
you could say his threshold is really big. He has a huge threshold.
Jacob is a barn door. Everyone wants a barn door. They're solid. They're sturdy. They're very fashionable, and they're cool.
Hey, Jonah, you mind if I reclaim my time? I feel like you're stepping over what I have to offer.
Absolutely.
I did. Yeah. Let's let. Oh, you got zoomed in.
I was getting official. All right, so let me start over. First up, Jacob's a star. Can't really get around that. Any way you cut it.
Okay.
Second up, he is a veteran of the United States Marine Corps, where he learned how to tell planes where to go, which is great. Now he's an air traffic controller in Hawaii. That's about all I got, man. I tried to say unhinged in a good way, but you guys shot at me for that. So I guess he's just a veteran and an air traffic controller, and he's on all of his hinges, working perfectly fine.
You missed the part where I think Jacob is probably the most aggressive of the brothers. Like, he has the most endurance. He is the most go-getter, I think, out of everybody.
You said unhinged.
Like, I remember.
Yeah, you didn't say
I remember when we were when he was in California. I was like, yeah, Jacob's in the Marine Corps. He's taking 32 credit hours. He's getting his pilot's license, doing all of these things. I'm like, how is this dude alive? But he's just, whenever he sets his mind to something, it just 100% will get done. So I think that's what I always remember of Jacob.
That's pretty good.
Did he, Jake? Did you get 2 degrees, or was it just one?
I did. I got 2. Well, not an associate's and then a degree. So I would do day school and night school. Day school was at San Diego Christian College. I was taking the traditional classes as well as the general ed, and in between that, I was working on my my ratings. So I would, go to math class, go to Bible class, and then go hop on a flight, and then come back for physics, and then that would end around like 3:00. After that ended, I would drive back home, which was like an hour away to the beach in San Diego. And then I would go to night school for A&P class at a community college. So that was airframe and power plant mechanic, because I wanted to be a missionary pilot. And one of the requirements is to have your pilot's license, commercial rating, and be able to fix the plane yourself. So after the day ended, I was up to about 32 credit units a semester. But I loved it. That was a grind. I missed those days. I missed working hard. I missed feeling like I had no time. Was living the dream. You'll fly to LA in between math classes or in between physics classes, and then come back and then get to the grind somewhere else and just learn about aviation. So it got me to where I am today. I'm super blessed about that grind. Don't know where I had the time. Don't know where it went. But it was a blessing. I mean, if I can go back and do it again, I would.
You should just so people know how hard you worked. You should tell them what your GPA was in high school versus how much work you've done now.
You gotta step me down, don't you? You just gotta step.
No, I'm just saying that was like you completely changed.
Let's just say I'm not gonna say called a GPA. Like, there was no average. It was just like a GPA digression. There was no average. Everyone knew what direction it was heading. It was heading down. GPD.
That is one of my favorite parts. That's one of the things that I tell people about Jacob all the time, though. People are like, I was like, yeah, people doubted him, and then this dude just took off and blew up. Like, that's one of my favorite parts about Jacob. He just literally just went from like everyone's like, oh, you know what, we don't know, and he was like, no, watch this, and he just went. Phew. So that was one of my favorite things. I love telling that story because it's like, yeah, I don't know, it's like people's. It's just
so if you're hearing this, Mrs. Smith, you know, 6th grade teacher, look at me now.
I'm on a podcast.
Look at me now, Mrs. Smith. You can't afford a Yeti cup.
Neither can I. I have mason jars I stole from IHOP.
Oh my god! I love the honesty. I love the honesty hour. But it honestly is wild, Jake.
Someone's got to introduce Jordan, though. We've hit all the books except for you and Maya, Jordan and Maya. So if someone's got to
Jake, you want to do Jordan's introduction?
Yeah, I can do Jordan because I think me and him have the most interesting dynamic. Me and Jordan growing up, we butted heads like this. I mean, it was nonstop, right? Like, I guess our most infamous memory together was when he took my brand new Air Force Ones, which I was very particular about keeping those clean, and decided to mow in them. Completely trashed them, got them all green. I stayed calm. You know, I was a Marine before I was a Marine. Stayed calm, kept my bearing, walked upstairs, grabbed his favorite artwork, all of his favorite drawings, and dangled them out the window like Michael Jackson does kids. I just said, here, like it was like, you know, dandelions. I was like, here, you like mowing? You like mowing? It was like a Denzel Washington thing. Mow again, mow one more time, mow again. That was it, and that was, I mean, that moment, I think we kind of bonded, right? It was like one of those jail moments where like you're like the biggest guy, and then after a while you realize you have a lot in common that you didn't realize, you become best buds. And then I always looked up to him for his faith, you know, like I stumbled in a lot of ways and I didn't know which direction to go. Definitely I was in San Diego. And when he was, when he decided to do artwork, I know he had a pretty big job that he was dreaming of with Volition, I think, of making artwork. And then his discretion and his morals led him away from that because they were obligating him to fulfill something that he didn't feel comfortable with. And then for me, I was grinding. I was like, whatever comes my way, I'll do it. And for him to be in a position lesser than me at that point and say, I'm not going to do this because of my morals, I admire that. And I will continue to admire that. So Jordan is a person of faith. And then that just speaks loudly. I think the best word to describe me is just a God-fearing individual. And that's power right there. So
I think that was fantastic.
Got a lot of love for you, bud.
And I think that was when you said when we used to like butt heads all the time. I think for me, one of the bonding moments for me and Jacob, I was sitting in my apartment in Washington and I had rent due the next day and I just started freelancing, starting this little bitty tiny small business. I was getting tiny contracts here and there. And I remember I was sitting like in a pile of my bills on the floor and I was like in tears because I was like, I'm about to get evicted. There's no way I can pay this by tomorrow. Like, I was so frustrated. And then he called me up out of the blue and Jacob was like, you have been on my mind all day long. And I was like, no, man, I'm good. I'm good. Cause you know, I was prideful, big headed. And I'm like, no, I'm good. I'm making it. I'm okay. He's like, shut up. He literally said, he goes, shut up. You've been on my brain all day long. What's going on with you? And I was like, I'm fine. He was like, if you don't shut up right now and tell me. And I was like, I can't pay rent. And yes, you did. And you went like this. You went, oh my gosh. You know what? He's like, here's 2 months rent. Go. And you just gave me 2 months worth of rent. And you're like, I love you, bro. And you just hung up. And I just sat there and I was like,
I didn't know that.
It completely changed my life. Then people come up to me and they're like, I need help. And I'm like, take
no,
it, bro. Like,
Negatron.
So that was actually a life-changing moment for me. Yeah, that was dope.
It's not to interject, but we got one brother left. It's the one who created and started this all. So I think everyone's spoken except for who's it, Josiah, to talk about Maya, the eldest, talk about the youngest. Is that correct?
Yeah, I got this.
Yeah, go for that.
Think about how you intentionally influenced them into tech, which was probably the best decision you did.
Talk about my GPA in high school.
I'll check out you're black.
The real GPA.
No, I'll be honest. I feel like since me and Maya have the farthest spread in age, I didn't get the chance to spend a lot of time with Maya. And coming back from college, I saw the man that Maya was for the first time, and it was really weird for me, kind of seeing him go off and to college and then move into the military. And I never really knew, how to I felt weird. You said like we're 9 years apart, right? 9 years apart.
Eight.
8 years apart.
Eight.
So
Yeah, it was like 10 or 9. I don't know.
Yeah, so I didn't. Whenever we would talk, I didn't know if you would want to talk to me, and the fact that you would talk to me overseas and just stay connected or ask me questions about what I was doing, it really turned the corner. And just I don't know, I felt like for the first time we were just getting to know each other, and I think the first thing that you asked me was how do I make an HTML page go green or something like that? And I was like, really? So I was so happy to talk to you about just getting started, and I just really, I don't know, just amazed that you were overseas, literally in the middle of a war, wanting to know and change your trajectory. So Maya's tenacity is what always has impressed me. And like you guys know, I'm pretty sure all on this channel, he taught himself. I think did you even take a class?
Took an online coding course.
You took an online coding course. So it's like, I'm not sure if anyone knows like the gravity of being in a completely different field in the military, teaching yourself, moving out of tech, not only moving out of tech, starting a YouTube channel and then moving into Slack is like such a meteoric rise. I've never been more proud. Every single chance I get, I tell my coworkers, I tell the people on the street about my ICM to this channel. It's inspiring. I didn't realize how many people you're helping. You've helped me with my professional development. So I'm just really proud of you.
I'm gonna cry. Oh, that's crazy though. I saw you, like, I went to visit you in Washington, and I was like, I never really talked to you. We're like 10 years apart, and then I saw that you were in tech, and then I was like, I had so many questions after that. I was like, how do you work from home and then you can afford to snowboard when you want? Oh, that's crazy. And then after that, I just
way
like
better than
so many questions, and I don't know. We started getting closer to then, and then now like I moved to Austin because like you're in the area, and it's been so great to like finally have family, because I like was in the military stationed in Florida for 6 years. I just got so used to not having any of my brothers around, and now like almost every week, me and LAV, my girlfriend, are up hanging out with your family, and just like I love it. It's so amazing. I never thought we'd be this close. Like it definitely influenced where I actually bought a house, because I was like, I want to be at Si's place like most weekends. I don't want to have to drive like a 50 minutes instead of 20 minutes. So that was like a big part of like where I wanted to live, which is just like closer to you, which is crazy, because 5 years ago we were barely friends.
It's just I'm super proud of you, man. Super proud of you.
All right, I'm gonna cry. We gotta change the subject.
Let's change the subject. Let's change.
I think the last two people that haven't been covered are.
Jacob, was that your word?
Let me get him on the next video. Let me get him on the next video.
Wait, who has the text message? Who has the word still? Because
I don't know.
If you don't get to your word by the end of the podcast, then you lose.
Well, so. I did. You said change the subject. No, I said pillowcase.
That works. You can't just throw it in there.
Yes, I can. Yes, I can. You guys opened the door. I was unhinged.
Was it pillowcase?
And I did it.
Was it pillowcase?
Pillowcase.
You can't just say pillowcase.
You can't just. Did someone call him out on it? Because that's kind of the
Jonah
the game.
Wait. I said, let me get him. I said, let me get him.
Who said unhinged first?
I said unhinged.
Was that your word?
No, it's what Jacob is. What is going on?
Anyway,
two of us.
Pillowcase is out. We're frying Jacob next.
Jacob gets fried next
video, bro. Fry me. Get fried before.
Two people that haven't been introduced. Jonah, do you know who they are?
It would happen to be mother and father.
That one TikTok that I posted, mom loved reading through the comments. She was just like, they're hyping my boys up. And they're like really like curious more so about dad because of the. Okay, let's start with dad.
That's because dad's a gray dad. Dad is a gray fox, but he's also Snake from Metal Gear Solid. But he's
also stubborn. Let's talk about how stubborn he is. He's a stubborn old man. I love him. He's stubborn. God, look at that boy stubborn, right? I used to get my stubbornness from. Like he's a great dad. Obviously, he raised all of us. We all did well. But holy smokes, man, getting to do projects with him in his house and everything, and then doing drywall, stubbornness. Stubborn.
Yes.
His ways are correct. My ways were wrong.
Hold on. Let me go with that. So here's the thing. Yes, dad is stubborn. He is stubborn in many ways. But the thing is, he's stubborn, but he's usually right about it. So I think he has a little bit of leeway into being stubborn. See, our dad, He's a good man. He's an army man. He was a major, but he was promotable to lieutenant colonel. So he was up there. He was doing some
Lieutenant
things.
Colonel,
We all
buddy.
know, huh?
Lieutenant Colonel's next.
That's what I said.
That's what he said.
Okay, I thought you said Colonel.
Do you open your ears when I talk, or do you just hate me? Anyway,
No,
our
man.
dad, like I said, our dad walks around like this. He's got an eye patch. He can't see out of one of his eyes, but he's an amazing man. Absolutely amazing man. He's stubborn, yes, but our dad is calm, collected. He's about his business. He is level-headed. Probably, honestly, the most level-headed man you would ever meet. There have been situations where people should have died. People should have had like life-changing events, and he doesn't lose his cool. One just quick story about dad. Our neighbor's house was on fire.
The fire.
There's a girl trapped in like the second story window. This man, old Patches, walks out the house in a row. Walks out the house in a robe, barefoot, over glass, over flames, over fire and brimstone, and this little girl gets out the window, and he catches her, walks off like it's nothing. That's who my father is. He's a calm and collected, get it done. He's objective focused. He's an amazing father. He taught us all how to be men. He taught us how to respect others, how to love our brothers, how to always, what he says is prefer one another. So that's who our dad is. But on the flip side of that, our mother is insane, but we love her.
I'm coming after you. You guys should have backed me up on that one. Call our mama insane. Ever again?
I agree. You can't do that. We'll have to kill you. It's just
there we go. It's in the contract.
Like one of the coolest things I've always loved about mom and dad, and just even in their relationship, I came up with this visual.
On it.
I call it like the mountain and the lighthouse, where dad's like this just massive silent dude who just is like about his business, and mom is always like the spinning light. Just everyone's always getting the attention. She's in radio, whatever, but they always highlight each other.
Oh my gosh, great analogy.
Always lifts up mom like on the mountain, but the lighthouse always shines the light back to expose the majesty of the mountain. And like it's this beautiful combination. I've always thought of them that way.
Have you ever spoken in front of massive crowds?
What?
So mom is just very outspoken. She's all for it. She will jump in both feet into any situation. And she's bold. She is just the definition of boldness.
And then she gets us to safety. And then the lighthouse gets us to safety because that's what lighthouse do. When you're lost in the dark, look for the lighthouse. Lighthouse brings you to shore.
And what does she do?
Lighthouse brings you to safety.
So and this is just part of it. She used to work in radio. I think she just retired after 15 years.
15
at a Christian radio station. 15? But yeah, I remember that when she first started, it was it was Queen for a day, and so she got her start there. Just a mom of 5 boys, and looking back now, I'm like, 5 boys.
No, what was the Queen?
Like, how did you?
Yeah, they were looking for a female host because it was just Tim in the Morning was nominated, and they pulled up to the house. And, they put like a huge banner outside the house. They had a banner out there. The BGL truck was there. They brought the whole studio equipment inside. It was actually really cool to see mom because mom she's not insane, but she's so driven, but she has this absolute unrivaled second to none imagination that makes her so people want to be drawn to her. People want to talk to mom. People want to be around mom. People love. It was so natural. So the first time seeing her,
everyone saw it or everyone heard it. Excuse me.
Yeah. The first time she got on the radio, just at home, no training or anything. Literally, it was like instant. And even just listened to her at home, I was like, oh my god. I was like, she's famous. Well, my mom's famous. Like she had that essence. She oozed confidence and she oozed affability. Good God. Everybody do it. Everybody do it. Get down.
I got it.
I think the cool part about all of it though is that we're all self-taught because mom and dad are self-taught. Mom has no formal training on how to be a public speaker, but she was a radio talk show host phenomenally for 15 years without any formal training. Dad didn't have a ton of formal training to do IT, but he essentially learned a lot of these concepts himself by tinkering. And we see that in the brothers. So obviously I'm self-taught. Jonah's a self-taught an author. Jordan is a self-taught artist. I'll put some of his art up right now. And Jake learned
self-taught star.
How to build a house.
Oh, that house project. Anyway, we have a ton of self-taught people in the family because mom and dad are self-taught. They're such a strong couple. There's some lighthouse analogy I can't replicate. But, that's where we get a lot of our personalities and tenacity from. I think.
Yeah,
I didn't put that together, man. That's actually really good. That's a good point. I think Dad really, he could have been an electrical engineer, but he taught himself circuit grids, and he was doing Raspberry Pi in the 1990s before people even knew it was a thing. So yeah, it's ridiculous what he could.
It's delicious.
Are our parents superheroes? Is that a thing? I feel like I guess we're talking about it. I feel like it's like a Marvel like origin story of like.
Well, that's what it's all about. It's about origin stories.
That's what it's supposed to be, like origin stories. Because again, you guys probably don't see it as much as I see it, but like a lot of my following, when like mom and dad do come on, or when I talk about you all as like a family, they're like, your parents must be so proud. Who are your parents? How are your parents? Why does he have an eye patch? There's just so many questions.
Because he's Snake and his arch nemesis is Big Boss. Get it right. Look out for the geckos.
Fun fact, we tried to find Dad a snake eye patch for Christmas one year, like a real replica one, and they were like so expensive that we couldn't do it. We wanted so bad. You're like the real solid snake. We were looking for him, but
yeah, I'm gonna give him that. I'm gonna give him that. I forgot about that.
They had one that was made out of like aircraft grade aluminum, but it actually had like a light that would like light up on.
Yeah, it actually like real leather glowed and the whole thing. Like it was sick.
Exactly. You know, like I wish I could have bought it. Because that would have looked nice.
Jacob, is that a hand raise I'm seeing? I love it.
The hand raise. Speaking to the cameras, a hand raise.
Good job, buddy.
No one calls him Snake. Mom calls him Nick Fury.
That brings a great point. Let's give Jacob a pass because he was a little bit late to the brothers party. Me, Jonah, Josiah all used to run like Sticks, Call of Duty, Monster Hunter for years, and we were all like immersed in this like gaming culture. Jacob didn't get it for the longest time until like 2020 when he finally like hopped on Sticks.
Started there. Jacob started there. He was like the Halo king.
Jordan Priest.
But yeah, we're gonna wrap it up for an outro. I have no idea how we're gonna do an outro. Word game reveal. Did someone else make it to the end without who else had a word?
Jacob definitely didn't.
Who else had what was your word, Jordan?
What was your word?
Marshmallow. The very beginning. No one ever looked.
That was like what you first asked.
Marshmallow?
No one ever knows.
Because he said, "What if he said? So if my word's marshmallow, that's how it goes." He bamboozled everybody.
I didn't even know the words went out. Oh, that's messed up, Jordan.
Jamal, you have the neck of a YouTuber.
In break.
He does. He has a YouTube neck.
He does have a YouTube neck.
Oh my god! Hey, thank you, People's Podcast 0. This has been an amazing experience with all the brothers tuning in. We're excited to do this. All the brothers are here. We're in three different time zones, guys. We're in Hawaii, we're in PST, and we're in Central Time Zone. But we're all making this happen because, one, we're amazing brothers. We're all self-taught, so we all self-taught ourselves time and times tables. And we're not just going to go out with a bye. I'm proud to be a part of this. All my brothers are phenomenal. Number 3, the artist. Silent, I'm speaking. Number 3, the artist. Number 1, the leader. Number 2, the Marine. Number 5, the tech genius. And number 4, the unemployed. That is how we outro everything.
I feel like Jonah always goes